Live Buffalo Trace. We good? We're good. Welcome to Smoke and Barrel, the knee replacement edition of Smoke and Barrel here. We are having a great time already. Today we have with us back from Kentucky, and we're going to talk about that today. It's very exciting. WhiskeyTangoCharlie, Charles Wilkerson, back from his, we'll call it the Charlie Troy Buffalo Tour, Buffalo Trace or Whiskey Tour. Yeah, so it's a Bourbon Trail. That would be great.
Bourbon week.
That's awesome. I was getting jealous. And we had T Crocker, the Cigar extraordinaire, and Bryan Hough here at Smoke and Barrel. Just a week ago, had my knee replaced, so we're chilling today in some comfortable chairs with their leg up in the air. These guys are going to be drinking. They're going to be drinking Buffalo Trace, and I'm going to be drinking Dr. Pepper Zero, because Tramadol and Buffalo Trace don't exactly mix, is what I understand. And my wife told me I wasn't drinking any Buffalo Trace. So,
Mama Hough,
yeah, she is a tremendous nurse. Has done a tremendous job, and kudos to my wife, who is wonderful. And she was sitting in here, so y'all know I'm going to pump her up. So, so today we were supposed to have Buffalo Trace bourbon and a Buffalo Trace cigar. Unfortunately, the Buffalo Trace cigar sold out, and we're still waiting to be replenished. So it hasn't come in yet. T picked us out another one, H Upman by AJ Fernandez, great medium plus smoke. You've got H Upman, 140 some years in the business, and now they're teaming up with AJ Fernandez. It's a 90 rated cigar. You know, it's gonna be Ecuador, Sumatra wrapper. It's a Nicaraguan tobacco with it. It's got a lot of great notes to it. The Ecuadorian Sumatra, the Carrillo 91, and the Piloto Cubano is going to bring in that sweetness. So you got a balance there. You're not going to get a lot of pepper right off the light. It's a good, smooth, light, great quality cigar. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely cool. Altadis distributes this for us, and so we have a lot of great success with this cigar. So I encourage you to have it.
It's a big boy here.
Yeah.
Torrey. Yeah.
I'm glad he got that name right. I thought he was
Stacy.
Oh yeah, you remember now? Huh?
I know her name.
Oh, okay.
All right. Stacy, hats off to you. And of course, I don't know that we have to introduce Buffalo Trace. I'm going to let Charles do that. Talking about Buffalo Trace, talking about experience. Charles, when you got to Kentucky, you and Troy, how'd that go? Tell us about it.
Good, man. One of the best trips ever. I mean, anytime you go, I swear, if you've never been up, if you've not been to Kentucky and kind of visited some of the distilleries up there, it is a treat any way you go.
That's what I want to do.
Right? And I will say this, and I almost don't want to say this out loud. I've been at different times of the year.
Right.
Different years and all that kind of stuff. By far, I think the best time to go is middle of January.
Oh yeah.
And why do I say that? Because I've been all weekends. I've been every time. You were there. You went last year, October.
Right.
Brian, I kid you not. Troy and I were going into a lot of the places we were visiting, and we were all over. Right? So, Kentucky Peerless. We were at Bardstown Bourbon. We were at Log Steel, which is brand new. We'll talk a little bit about that. But we were showing up at a lot of these places. We were the only people there. I mean, we were, except for Bardstown. Now, Bardstown Bourbon a little different, but they also had their national sales team was in town for the launch of that Origin series.
Right. Okay.
So they had a little traffic in there, but tour wise and all, we were like, we had all the attention. It was like they told everybody to stay at home because Charles and Troy were in town.
Right.
it was mind blowing.
They ran because I heard Troy was coming.
So
We're
so
gonna have a great coffee.
it was a. Not only is it always fun, right?
Yeah.
It's a fun, but it's also. I mean, we weren't fighting with the crowds, and of course everybody's getting pulled in all that kind of thing because there's a lot of people there, and they're taking care of the guests. Man, we were in, and so we were a little spoiled for the week.
Is this? Let me just ask. This wasn't an anomaly. Like this is that way common. Like that's common for this time.
I asked the question because after I finally just started asking questions, I said, "So what's going on here?" And they said, and most people said, that middle of January, you just finished the holidays, people are kind of getting, and it usually is a little bit quieter as far as the tourism goes up. And of course, everybody wants to go when it's warm weather and all that. Got it. But hey, we hit it that week. There was a few days. It was cold. It was 29 degrees when we left to go. When we were going through the mountains, and Troy took pictures when we were going from North Carolina. We was down 40, snow on the mountains, and it was 29 degrees when we were passing the mountains. When we got up to Kentucky, the next morning we got when we got in town. It was a little cool the first day, but the next day, Monday morning, we got up. It was 65 degrees.
Right.
I mean, God, come on.
So it's not that much different,
right,
than here. I mean,
so anyway, it was a fantastic trip, and so seeing all the people. The end of the week was the Bourbon Con event, which we got to really. It was like a big gathering. It was the first one ever they've ever had. It was called Bourbon Con, and that was fun.
So you had your picture taken with the legendary guy from Buffalo Trace.
So it was and that was really special. So he comes walking in the door at BourbonCon, and so he come over to the booth that we were sitting there talking, and it was a husband and wife couple, and we were talking, and I looked over and I said, "Oh my gosh!" So I said, "Fred," I looked over. I said, "Freddie, I got to tell you a story." And I said, "I know you get a million stories all the time, but I'm going to share a story with you." So I shared with him the story, and I've told this at some of my tastings. I've told you the whole story. 25 years ago, I'm at Buffalo Trace. He's my tour guide, and I didn't know him. It was Freddie Johnson. But I said, you were my tour guide for that day. And I thought, man, I've never heard anybody speak with such passion and stories and all this. But here's what happened, Freddie. At the end of the thing, we're at the tasting bar and we're sipping things. And we tasted a couple of products, And you just turned and looked at me out of nowhere. I was not expecting. You turned and you pointed right. I mean, you were like this, we wait. And you said, "Sir, what's the best bourbon there is in the world?" And I was like, "Ah." And I said, you caught me. You knew I was just kind of stumbling because I said, if I answered anything other than what y'all distilled, I was dead, right? But you said, "No, sir, let me help you out." And then you gave me your line.
Right.
And I said, "Freddie, to this day now, because we do tasting events all over the place, and I close with that line because it truly is. It is the best. The best one is the one in your glass that you're sharing with folks right now." And he looked at me and he said, "I appreciate that story." And he said, "More than you know." And then we turned and had a picture made together.
Right.
So to be able to recant or re-give that to him, 25 plus years later, the impact he's made. And you think about that, he's made an impact on a lot of people over the years.
Absolutely. He's on that YouTube or the Netflix special, and that's how I knew who Freddie was. I've never met him. I had that opportunity. Now it's so big.
He still did that today. I didn't know him, and he still. You may luck up one day if you're going to Buffalo Trace. He could be your tour guide, and so it was just it was a real treat, and he is so gracious and he's so humble, and he's not like, oh, I'm Freddie Johnson. He's not. He's just. I mean, he could just sit out here and have a pour with us, and it'd just be that easy going, right?
Yeah.
So that was a real treat. That was a real treat. So then there was lots of others.
So let's take it chronologically. You went to Bourbon 30. Was that the first day?
We stopped to see my friend Jeff at Bourbon 30. Got a lot of. We went down to visit the new place
In Frankfurt. Across from Buffalo Trace.
Literally straight down the road. Yes.
Now, did you stay and mix your own bourbon again?
We put together a couple of special blends for the raffle that I'm working on for the nonprofit group. Yeah. No, we did not get anything for the podcast. Sorry about that. Yeah.
It's okay.
He's generous.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. You gonna let him slide like that?
Yeah.
I let him slide all the time. He's a partner.
But he let you slide.
Just say.
But I don't get this. Like, I don't understand. If I go somewhere and not bring back a cigar, I'm in trouble.
Who says he didn't bring anything back?
I mean, I want that special blend that you enjoy. We doing.
Okay, gotcha. But yes, Bourbon 30. It ended up being, and I was not well. I should have known better. We were waylaid there a little bit. We never did connect with Whiskey Thief. We were supposed to be there to record some stuff, but we never got a confirmation on the time, so we missed that one. We did make it down. We were in Louisville, Kentucky Peerless. We were there for the day, spent some time there, ended up down. We was trying to see my friend over there at Justin's House of Bourbon in Louisville, downtown. But they were closed for inventory, and then was kind of the next day, the news broke that the ABC people came in. There was some inventory issues, and they had. I don't know all I know is the next day or the rest of the week that was a lot of the news that Justice House of Bourbon got raided, or at least they came in and checked on some things that was maybe. And I haven't heard that it was the same, but we did that. We did.
Let's back up.
Yep.
So you didn't just go to Peerless and just look in the door and how y'all doing?
No.
You sat down and had a sit down discussion.
Yes.
With Corky.
They brought us up to the speakeasy room upstairs, and we did. We sat down and just kind of caught up a bit with Corky. We recorded some stuff there, which I'm working on. I've got, out of this whole thing, I've got a month, probably a month's worth of editing to work on for releases. So we released, we did the thing with Corky. I did get the podcast, or at least one of the discussions we had at Bardstown Bourbon Company. I did finally get a little snippet of that with Nick Smith at the distillery. I still got more yet to edit. Oh my gosh, it's just crazy. But yes, Corky was fabulous. He was gracious to give us some time, and it worked out. He was back in town. He just got in back in town.
Oh, good.
So.
Now, did they have the toffee, double oak toffee still, or were they out?
How did you know about the toffee?
I was just there.
Yeah, well,
I bought 2 of the toffee, the double oak. Oh, it's so good, man.
yeah. So we got the double oak rye, that double oak rye thing that they came out with recently.
I don't know if I've had the double oak rye. I have to look. I may have the double oak rye.
Yeah, one of those. one bottle of that double oak rye didn't make it out of Kentucky. Just saying.
Troy.
Troy,
Damn Troy. He drunk it all day.
you know, he's the rye guy.
See, I should have
Fresh
known.
off the press, man.
Right.
So, but yes, yeah, Bardstown Bourbon made it over to Lux Row because Troy had never been to Lux Row. The last time I was up there, I visited. I saw one of us. Well, hey, you've never been here. Let's pop into Lux Row, get a little tour there, and I showed him around. We didn't record anything there. We didn't have an appointment because it was just kind of, oh man, I forgot. I should have reached out to him, but Bardstown Bourbon was fantastic as usual. They were just over the top.
Yeah, I didn't get to go there, and that's added to the list. You definitely want to go to Bardstown. But going back, you had a question about the toffee. Yes, and basically they're going to do batches, and they do smaller batches, and they'll taste it.
Yeah.
And each one of them is unique. So when they do it, they kind of all share their opinion as getting toffee. You know, and they name it that it's only going to be this batch that they did is all. That's it. Once it's gone, it's gone. And then they'll have another one, and they'll name it something that's special, unique flavor that char and that barrel of that batch came with.
Yep.
Okay, so is the toffee like double shot?
No.
No, it's a bourbon. Not a bourbon. It's not a cream.
It's not a cream liqueur, it's a bourbon.
It's a bourbon. And I have.
You got 2 bottles.
Not anymore.
So you down to 1 bottle.
They're,
All right, see you next week. I don't know why he be hiding that from me. I don't know why. Because you know
I can't even drink right now.
Okay, you can't. But I can come and see Mama Huff, and then I can have some talk.
And you're going to do that in front of me.
No,
I mean, right now it's cruel and unusual punishment.
no, I'm not gonna do it in front of you. I'm gonna do it in the kitchen, and you're gonna be in your chair.
yeah.
So Bardstown, in relation to Heaven Hill, where's Bardstown? It's got to be close. It's still.
Yeah, it's a bourbon. Yeah.
I know it's in Bardstown,
Yeah.
but I'm just thinking
Oh,
through
it's-
town, or is it still out in the countryside?
No, they're right on the edge of the main highway coming in. So if you come, well, I'm not sure the relationship. I get the map out and look at it, but they're within. So from Willet, it's got to be.
Will it coming back, or will it still going out? You know, because you come through Heaven Hill, you take that big turn, you go past the Rick House that are white, you got the across the river, and take a left up the Willet.
They're probably 3 or 4 miles apart.
Right. It's a great area.
Okay, so
Bardstown.
are most of the distilleries like in one section of Kentucky, or I've never been, so I'm
It's
asking.
regional.
It's lower. They're in sort of pockets, but yeah, you sort of hit the Bardstown area. You kind of go over. Here's what I say: the reason the Bourbon Trail works, it is literally. I don't care. It doesn't matter where you are. Within an hour, if you're going to go from one to another, you literally can be there within an hour.
Okay, what you're telling me is I need to go do the Kentucky Bourbon Trust.
Well, yeah. But you got to pick and choose. I mean, you can do what Charlie's saying. But correct me if I'm wrong. I've done this twice, and I've been to Denton. I've been to Buffalo Trace twice, and I've been to Old Forester and Michter's once. Only for Michter's, I went there for their bar because they tremendous bar there. But if you can picture this, okay, so we'll say Charlotte is Lexington, okay, and then Salisbury, maybe not quite that, but Salisbury is Louisville. Okay, kind of that distance.
All right.
Something close, 45 minutes, 30, 45 minutes. And so Lexington around there, you got Frankfurt, which is
On the way.
Okay, but then if you go south from there, you've got Woodford. Okay, it's in that area. That's in the eastern part.
Okay.
More central. Eastern. And then Louisville's more to the west, toward the Ohio line.
Okay. Okay.
So Louisville is a good, I believe, is a good central area to go from. Because if you're in Louisville, you drive 30 minutes south, and it's really not that far to Bardstown, but it's a slower route. You have to do some things. But on the way, and I'm going to miss a few, but you're going to have Jack Daniels, Jim Beam, Four Roses, and then you're going to get to Bardstown, right? So you got them on the way to Bardstown. So, and the way into Bardstown, you have Heaven Hill. You can't miss. I mean, it's beautiful. It's huge. You can't miss it. So you can take, there's a little road right in front of Heaven Hill that goes down like a back road. It goes into downtown Bardstown. Okay? And it's a beautiful city. And it's got a lot of little shops, a lot of mom and pop type things. Great restaurant there. If you keep bearing left in front of Heaven Hill, you go down across Noah's Mill is the creek, Noah's Creek. Right? Yeah, and you go across that, and then you come up and take a left in a gravel road. Is the entrance of Wilkerson. So you'll go up there. So all of those things, like you could literally, I mean, next time we talked about just staying in Bardstown. Yeah. Getting a bed and breakfast in Bardstown and hanging out there, because it's such a cool little place to be. And Stephen Foster is from Bardstown area, and they have the Stephen Foster Park, and they have Stephen Foster this and that. But you could literally, I mean, you could have. I'm missing one of the distilleries on that road that we all know. I'm going to come up with it. Makers Marcus.
Makers now.
Yeah. So I've been in that area.
Yep.
So
that's what I mean. I think it's like a bourbon trail. I've never been to Kentucky. I've probably been through Kentucky. I've never been to Kentucky.
But Louisville, I mean, you could stay in Louisville and get more than 20, maybe 15.
I don't think you're going to get. I mean, you start at one end and you can go Angel's Envy, Rabbit Hole, Old Forester, Logic Rag, Victor's, Kentucky Pills.
So you did Rabbit Hole. So it's all. I mean, Rabbit Hole, Old Forester that's right in the same block. Okay. Yeah. Justin's is there.
Yeah.
And then Angel's Envy
it's
coming on
a little further out, right on the edge of town right there, but you see it when you're driving in. There's you see the distillery right there.
You go past the fairgrounds,
yeah,
and then you'll see, I mean, you can see it from the highway, Angel's Envy.
Yeah.
So then you just keep down going down Main Street there.
You can stay in there, and you can, the here's the thing is, you're going to spend several hours per. You'll probably, and they go open at like 10 a.m. So you can usually, this is the way you do it. You're going to be able to you can catch one before lunch, then you're going to be ready for some lunch, then you're going to catch another one. So you can get two, you probably can get three in one day if you're in town right now. But you're just going to go, I mean, you know, if you're going to do it, soak it in. I just say, just soak it in.
But at the end of that road is Fearless. So you're going down. If you could just picture a Main Street, you got Louisville Slugger. You got these distilleries kind of peppered in, all the way down. I mean, they're in old buildings, right? Historic buildings. And then you get down to the end. You go down the main road. You take a right toward the river, and Fearless is there in this. It's a
warehouse.
Old warehouse. I mean, nondescript. Now you walk in, it's like, oh my God, beautiful floor, wood floors. Right. It's a really nice place. But here's the thing: you want to book you some tastings, maybe 2 a day max, because you're going to taste 4 or 5 different bourbons, and you're going to get a half ounce, about a half ounce more. So you're going to be doing that and shopping and talking to people. Get a tour. You're only going to, honestly, how many tours do you really want to do? I mean, you've seen the process. It's kind of, there are some unique things to it. some buy their barrels already done, some do their own barrels. Depends on the size. You know, learning about the way they char it,
Right.
you know, understanding the process. And that's, you know, picky one.
Yeah.
And I would suggest, and Charlie, you've done it a lot more than I have, more of a smaller facility to tour.
Right.
Because, you know, you get to a Buffalo Trace, it's cool. You know, this building's E.H. Taylor, and, you know, that's Blanton's, and this, you know, the Rick House is this. And that's cool. And it's a beautiful place. But it kind of gets overwhelming to your senses. Like, you can only take so much in from the trip. And they do a wonderful job. I mean, you know, they're all well trained and well versed and all that. But if you want to look at the process, you know, how it is distilled and the process, big and small in there.
Right.
Peerless is a really good tour.
Okay.
Enjoyed that tour.
Yeah.
They give you a lot of background, and it's got character.
Right.
You know, they all, you know, they all claim uniqueness in some way, and there are nuances to their uniqueness.
Right.
We were the first bourbon in Kentucky. You go see Jeff Mattingly. His family, okay, has reaches in every single distillery in Kentucky at some level. Jack Daniels, Jim Beam.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. I said Jack Daniels earlier. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Messed that up.
Yeah.
But you've got his family has been involved since they started the bourbon industry in Kentucky. Okay? There are uniquenesses across all of them. You know, the first medicinal bourbon, the first this, the first that.
Yep.
They're all going to have these unique qualities, but at the end of the day, they've been doing it for 150, 200 years. You know, and there's a lot of history there. But I just like Peerless, you know, just the character. Just it's so, the stories. If you get Corky for 10 minutes,
Oh, yeah.
you know, you're getting these stories that are so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's only going to happen for so much longer.
I mean,
He's got to be in his 80s.
even when we get to Chef Cigar, you know, listening to Scott talk, you know, about
Good stuff.
how they came about. That's the kind of stuff I do.
Yeah. And look, you want to go. I've said this before. You really do go up there. Do the big shots. And you know, I found out with our visit at Bardstown Bourbon, Nick says that, you know, they've got a room. And I said, man, I was here when the other call was the second. He said, well, I got another one coming. I said, yeah. He has a 42 inch. So he's 236 and now going to 42 inch. And here's their projection is, so they went from one, since they opened, think about that, and this is a very, very short time, and they went from when they opened to 1.5 million proof gallons annually to 7.5 million. And now they're going from 7 to 7.5, and we go to 14. Just the ramp up. Proof gallons. They have so many rig houses now, they'll probably add another. Well, they have never, he told me, he said they have never stopped construction since they've opened. Construction has been happening on that property since the day they opened. It's never stopped. And he told me a staggering number just for them. He has over 500,000 barrels underneath out there. And 1 million barrels out in the ground already. So, when I say all this, it's just, we're not going to run out of bourbon. Just saying.
That's a good thing. That means people live.
You know,
I won't kill nobody.
You know, Freddie Johnson tells a story, if you hear him say this, and he said it during the presentation when we were, he had a speaking thing that afternoon we did there, and he said, you know, people come, buy that and I'm going to save it. He said, And he came to this realization that when his father passed, he said, so this is true. When his grandfather passed, those rick houses were full of. When his father passed, and they brought his father through by the rick houses, they're full of bourbon. And he said, and when I pass, those rick houses are going to be full of bourbon. So why you say that? There's always going to be good bourbon. That was his point. There was always going to be good bourbon. Enjoy.
Well, and that's part of what Mook and I have this conversation all the time. Mook has a tremendous selection. I think you've seen it. You've seen his, and I have a good collection, but I drink mine. Because I'm going, guys, it's there for us to enjoy. We had the Blanton's Gold that I got that was given to me, and we celebrated that night when Jack got married. You weren't here. Jack got married. Yes, congratulations to Jessica.
Congratulations.
There's a lot of story there. It's all good.
We'll find out later.
Yeah, we'll so we were drinking, Blanton's Gold.
Nice.
Absolutely. We had Jack and I sat outside and had a bull each. We had Andalusian bulls and Blanton's Gold. But that's, you say, I'm going to say that for a special occasion. We do that. Hey, every day is a special occasion. You're up, you're around, you're alive. I walked out of, I didn't walk out too good, but I walked out of surgery last week. I'm alive. Things happen in surgery all the time. So, just happy to be there. So, yeah, we need to all enjoy it while we have it. And enjoy it with the best bourbon you have is the one you're having right now with friends. That's the way it works.
We're drinking in front of you. I don't know how that works out.
Hey, believe me, I've had my share. So
we'll catch up.
Yeah, I'll catch up. So the Mook turns 40 next week. 50, sorry. Missed a whole decade ago. Turns 50 next week.
Mook.
We'll have a salute to the Mook.
There'll be time for that. That's gonna be a celebration.
Like we're gonna be popping bottles.
Anyway, we had, all in all, it was the best trip ever. Got a chance to go down to Log Still Distilling, which the last time I was over was 2 years ago. They were just kind of, it is absolutely incredible. So it's on the old Bant, a family property. Right. This is just mind blowing. So when you go to the website, check them out. Distillery, the tasting room, and all that. Down behind it is an amphitheater. I don't know how many it was holding. They also have on the property 4 bed and breakfast things where you can stay. And so the one they call the mansion was the family's. It is a beautiful place. I'm telling you, it's beautiful. And is it 4-bedroom or 5? It's a 4-bedroom, 2-story house thing over there, and it's gorgeous, just gorgeous. And they have their own chef over there. And the coolest thing was we were shown that they took us all over this place. But if you want, when you stay there, they'll bring your food. They can deliver it, or you come over and have a thing. Oh, and they're adding a restaurant, a full-on restaurant. That's going to be.
Now, where is this at?
Guess me. But it's about, if you're coming out of Bardstown, it's about, it probably took us about 20 minutes or so to get out from where they were. And they're sort of remote. It's very remote. But absolutely gorgeous. They got a 20-acre pond lake in there. It's spring-fed and all this. But here's the cool part is, if you want to stay over there, and the chef, if you want, you can request, and there's obviously coffee, but the chef does the kitchen has this gigantic wraparound bar, setting bar around it, and there's a cooktop, chef will come over, and she said, Emily told us this story. She said, he absolutely loves it. So if you're staying over there, you can request the chef to come over, and he will prepare your dinner. And you sit around there and drink wine or bourbon while he prepares your meal and talks about the food that he's prepared for you. And does it like that a lot, you know. It's like, you're getting emeralds to come over and cook for you, right? Jeez. Yeah. So, and they have some people coming in. So, Martina McBride is going to be playing there at this amphitheater.
So it's a good size.
It's about
2,000.
I think it will hold. It's not a very big place. I mean, so in the warm months, and I'm not sure. I'd have to go look at the website. They tell me every Friday night at that place is every Friday. So, just think about it. It's a great setting, history of it, everything. So that was pretty cool. And then, like I say, we came back from there. Our last 2 days. Thursday was there. Friday was back in Lexington. We were at Bourbon. It was at the Griffin Gate Facility. And we met so many people there with all the booths they had up.
You packed a lot into it, but the cool thing is there's so many who really quality distilleries that aren't as mainstream as Buffalo Trace. Some of these others that are just quality. It's wonderful. And they do a great job. And that's the cool, to me, you introduced us, I bring it up early, but that's a great example. Three Boys, the driver we had, took us out. We went from Woodford, and he's like, hey, I know this place, let's go out there. Man, what a cool place.
They rebranded, so it was Three Boys, and it's still in the name, but it's Whiskey Thief. So they're rebranding a little bit. But it is one of those where they take it out of the bar, and you get to see the whole thing. They've got the barrels, and you get the thief out and taste right from the barrel. And you want a thief and you like something, they can bottle it, label it, you buy it right there on the spot. And hands down, those experiences are incredible. We stopped at one of my little gyms in Lexington on Sunday. One of their stops I took Troy to. It's a bluegrass distillery, and they're right in town in Lexington. And the whole distillery is probably twice the size of the lounge here. I mean, but they're in the process of upfitting this whole big mansion here they're going to move to. But we got to do. They had some barrel there that you could taste, and if you liked it. They had this barrel up on the rack, and it had this little spout in, so you could stick the bottle and turn the thing, and just fill your bottle like right there. Yeah, I got 2 of those. You want one? How much money?
See,
We don't talk about price when we talk about
I see that.
some of this is.
Yeah, I see. So I know this is why I have to go.
Now,
You and Charlie, y'all go to Kentucky, y'all come back with all these bottles. Oh, I got this and I got that.
the toffee was $120 a bottle.
Okay.
These are. I mean, they're not all like 30. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. TSA got plenty of overtime right now.
Going back to what'd you say? It's Thief 3.
The Three Boys is Whiskey Thief Distillery.
Whiskey Thief Distillery, Three Boys. When we went, we did the Thief, and we got our own bottle. What's cool about it is it's not pretentious. It is, hey, here's a barn, here's our distiller, here's our copper barrel distiller, and here's 5 barrels to choose from, and you kind of taste from each one, and do that. And then you go out back, and they got these plastic and wooden, both Adirondack chairs sitting around a fireplace or a fire pit. And you just hang out, smoke cigars, drink bourbon. I mean, it's like your backyard, and that's neat, because you think about Kentucky and you think about some of the in your mind what you perceive things to be, and then we visit these places just down to earth. Yes, great folks.
That's a bucket list.
Yeah, I did a little research on a different take on it, and so I found, you mentioned like Airbnb stuff. I have found some interesting places up there that basically I said, okay, let me find something that can hold, that's about 5 to 6 bedroom size, and they're there. I found them. I found these places where, so you're not staying at the hotel room, so you've got a house,
Yeah.
a 6 bedroom, 5 bath house in the area. And so you roll up there, you can use that as base.
Yeah.
But when you come back, you've got a patio out back to do what you said. We've been out doing tastings and touring all day. You can come back to a place like that, have some dinner or whatever, and then go out back.
I love that.
Patio, you have cigars, chill.
I love that setup that you were talking about with the 4 bed breakfasts. You got the chef and you can eat there. It's a challenge, when you're, where do we go eat today?
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't have that discussion every day of their life? What are we going to do? And so when you're on vacation or you're going there, if you're in Louisville, I mean, this is our experience, there's places, but you don't know what's going to be.
Right.
And you can look at the ratings.
Right.
But it's not going to be inexpensive. I mean, but you can have dinner at your place that's kind of included, kind of taken care of, which to me makes it a lot better.
Yeah.
And you feel more at home.
Yeah.
You're not renting a spot at a hotel. You're at home in somebody else's home. You're making yours for a week.
Right.
By 2 or 3 days in, you're comfortable. I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
You got to go 2 or 3, 4 times, talk to people. I talked to you several times before we went. You gave us suggestions. Matt Washington we went with. He does a lot of research. So does his wife. She's what do we call her? Who's the lady on the
Concierge?
Yeah, she is. She's like on the love boat, the concierge. We call her Kathy or something.
Tour director?
Yeah. She books all the hotels. She always does the flights, and she's got it all coordinated, But you have to cut your teeth a little bit to learn what you want to do, what you like, and then try to get outside your comfort zone. It's no different than we talk every day about walking into an ABC store. What do I buy? I've never heard of that. So you stay away from it.
Right.
Where it should be the opposite. I think I need to try that. Sagamore rye. I bet that's pretty good. It looks a great looking bottle,
Yeah, when you're up there, it's just kind of amazing that as you look around and you things uncover. So you have to tuck that away. So, okay, that is potentially the next trip up. I'm going to add this into it, change the experience. If you go back, if you do it, like go back to the same hotel, the same, even though you're going to different places, but if you change your experience, and they even have some places which I asked the question, not all of them yet, but I think it's coming. But so they have a thing, because I said to them, I said, so I like travel with the money, right? So I said, I'd like to come up and just work right over here. Oh, well, we're getting connected. Have you heard of Harvest Coast? There's a company out there. I think if you're a member of that, there's a whole plethora of places, distilleries, wineries, golf courses. I mean, where you're able to pull in and park overnight. They don't charge you. Typically there's no hotel, but it's a place to park that you're not in the campground, but you park at their place for an overnight stay. The only thing they ask you to do, obviously, the because you know they're part of the network. Is they want you to visit and buy something, like you know, go to a tour, buy a tour, buy a bottle of bourbon, buy a bottle of wine, you know, whatever. And of course you're gonna do that. You stay in that place. Right. So, you know, you can get there. I love this because if I was to roll up there, you know, in the afternoon, typically you're traveling and you just kind of roll up there in the afternoon, late afternoon, you just park. So now I got a place to sit and chill. The next morning I can get up, I can have some coffee, I can have some breakfast, and then at 10 o'clock when they open, just get out and walk over and tour the place, do the tour, do a tasting, whatever. And then, and it's only typically these things are only an overnight stay, just one night only, and they'll move on. But that's okay.
Now, did you go in your RV this time? Or did
No,
you
no,
stay
we
close?
were moving fast. So we were staying in a hotel.
Right.
Yeah.
Pam got a nice vacation.
She got, yes. she got rid of me for a week.
Any,
This is a good, you know, this is a good little pairing here. So, my old favorite, Buffalo Trace, bourbon, where I started the bourbon, my beginnings was with Buffalo Trace. So, this is always a good recipe. Can't go wrong with that one.
absolutely not. It's caramel, it's beautiful, it's all of it. Taste it from here. Yep.
So, everything's good. Surgery went well.
Yeah, everything went great. You know, you just sleeping is not your friend. You know, you get to sleep whenever you sleep. You know, the biggest thing about knee surgery, I've had a few, and it's funny. I was in here. I hadn't seen this guy in a long time. He used to be a fireman in Mount Holly, and now he's over in Belmont. And he had his knee replaced 2 or 3 months ago, and he was telling me about, you know, I know this intuitively, but to keep it straight, you don't want to put a pillow or anything behind your knee ever.
So it creates
So, yeah, so your biggest problem is getting your legs straight. Okay, so if I put my leg up here, it's straight. Okay, a lot of people when you have it, because it's so more comfortable to be able to put a pillow or something behind your knee and your leg to rest. And but that prevents you from being able to get it straight. So I'm at 0 now. 0 is where you want to be. It has taken me 2 or 3 months to get there. So I never really thought about that way, but from day one, I have done it. And it is so much nicer because the hardest thing I call heel sits. So you'll sit it on something like your heel, just sit there trying to get your leg to go straight. And it's so tight behind it. You know, you got swelling, you got stuff going on. So that has been a real key. I got off the walker yesterday. I'm on a cane now, so in a week's time, that's really good progress. I was doing leg press yesterday. It's not your own body weight thing. They put you on in rehab, and, you know, doing some calf raises, just stretching, pulling your leg. Now I got to get it. It's up to about 89 degrees. I'll have to get that to 120 degrees. So if you bend it all the way, but that takes until the swelling goes down. There's only so much you can do. But it's going well. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, life's too short to be a pain, and you miss out on folks. You know, we go to Denver to see my daughters. You know, I don't get to go on those hikes. You know, and they do a lot of hiking and greenways and trails. There's so much to do in that area. Or just standing. I couldn't stand more than 2 or 3 minutes. My leg would just be locked up. So you know, life's too short to live like that. So my biggest thing, you know, is playing golf. So I'm looking forward to that. That drives me every day I get up is to get this thing well. But yeah, it's going great. I'm ahead of schedule. So he said the biggest thing we got to do is not over, you know, and really let it heal, which I've been doing. I mean, this is, you know, I walk, get in the car, come out, walk to the seat, sit down, put my leg up. That's what I'm doing at the house. It's no harder here. It's just you want to be able to ice it. You know, like I'll go home after this and ice it. You know, that'd be good. But managing the pain's been good. I'm getting off pain medicine is a big priority for me. Yesterday, you know, I took one tramadol. At 3 a.m. in the morning, I couldn't get comfortable. Couldn't get, you know, you got a little pain in your kneecap, whatever. I mean, it's just nagging stuff that just won't let you sleep. So I took one. You know, but I haven't taken it today. I took 2 Tylenol. That's good. So yeah, it went well. Everything went great. The anesthesiologist come in. I'm like, knock me out. Beat me up, Scotty. I'm ready to go. So,
Good.
It's getting everything to fire. But I'll tell you, if you're going to have any kind of surgery like this, I did a lot of work. For 3 months, I did nothing but work hard every day. I did Peloton bike, I did weightlifting, I did a lot. Of course, I lost weight, but that had a lot to do with it. But being able to come out of surgery and feel good, positive. I'm already firing. First day, 2 days after surgery, I'm firing my quads, and that's a huge thing. You know, when you go in, they put a tourniquet across your leg. What happens is your quad muscles will atrophy. It's scary how fast that happens. Just in 1 2 hour, hour and a half surgery. And so, you know, I was in there day 1, and I could lift my leg, fire off my quads. You know, the therapist was like, I'm lifting my leg. It pays off. And you really, I can't stress enough, you cannot prepare your body enough. You know, a lot of us aren't like Carol Lee. I mean, Carol Lee is in incredible shape. You know, despite all her challenges physically with injuries, war injuries, whatever, she stays in incredible shape. And that is paramount.
Right.
To really heal it. That's why she can, because she burns 5,000 calories a day.
She's on the move.
But yeah, we miss the goddess. She's out today. She's in visiting family in Texas.
Oh, the big national deal.
Is that where she's at?
Big thing in general.
Texas, there's some Texas on the hill, some snow and stuff out there.
Yeah, that messed up a lot of flights. Yeah, I did see that. You know, you have a lot of time to watch stuff. Oh, I was going to bring this up. So you were talking about we're never going to run out of bourbon. So you get a chance to watch a lot of TV when you're laying up. So we watched Succession, which is a pretty cool series. We watched Yellowstone, as y'all know, and others. And if you notice this, in years past, they would order a martini, they would order a tonic. In every single case, it was either scotch or bourbon. Every single case in every drink that they got. Now, Beth from Yellowstone will drink her martini and her vodka. They got that. But she also, when they're at the house, it's bourbon. And they have a carafe over there where, you know, they're pouring it in. And that's the popularity of bourbon. And it has gotten to the point where, you know, that's what everybody's drinking on the movies and the shows. You know, it's crazy. But, you know, I just sat back and I went, Gina, do you recognize that every time somebody drinks, it's bourbon? You know, they never tell you what it is.
Right.
Right?
Well, sometimes the bottle shows up.
They have the bullet. They have the bullet
The
of
bullet,
Yellowstone.
the bullet showed up, and then the one where they're going down the highway with the governor, Beth, and they break out a bottle of Weller's Well.
Oh, yeah.
In the car, and it showed it. Well, I was like, that's Weller's Well. Right?
Well, you know, they're sponsors.
Yeah.
For Rip and others. So Buffalo Trace,
Yeah.
they got advertising around Yellowstone. So they've got all their products in there. But originally, I know I saw Bullet, but it must have been something else.
Yeah.
Now.
No, it was.
Must have been early on.
It was. It was sitting on the. It was sitting on in the house over there. Yeah, bullet was on it. Good.
So, T, what's the best cigar you have?
Right now, my family and friends.
Cheers, everybody.
Hey,
Thanks for joining us. Really enjoyed it. Charles, thank you for sharing your trip with us.
I can't say enough, but I'm going to have some. There'll be some videos coming up on our site soon. I got editing and all that stuff. Real excited about Troy and I are doing a big event Saturday. So we're actually doing a certification for stage and piece thing. 30 plus ABC store managers.
We give a personal invitation.
Right.
Yeah, we're up in the Durham area. We'll be at Mystic Farm Distillery, and we just was up there last night. Yesterday afternoon we did a recording with Blitz. His name was Jonathan Blitz. He's one of the co-owners of that thing. And they have, and you'll show the video. They have the first bourbon ever that they're working on. It's called Black. And it is barrels of bourbon that's going to be 3-year-old bourbon, and it's going to be shot off into space. It's going to orbit the Earth for a year, and then it's coming back down, and then they're going to bottle it.
And how much is the bottle?
They haven't got a price on it.
Well, they're taking reservations on it right now for the first 1,000. The first 1,000. 75 grand.
There you go. Out of this world.
So
It'll put you in order.
$75,000 for a bottle of bourbon.
Yeah.
And you have one bottle of 1,000 in the world. That's your bottle.
Yeah, that one I'd have a hard time enjoying.
So
I
here's
wouldn't open it.
here's where it comes. So that 1,000 of those, it has the 750 milliliter, but there's also going to be a 50 milliliter bottle, part of that. So that's what you're going to open to get the taste. And of course, the other one will sit there for whatever. I don't know. It is amazing.
Jeff Bezos may have the bottle. That's the type of guy that's going to buy it.
You know what? It is.
You made Elon Musk.
It's the folks that. That's another
That's a stratosphere. That's good.
So anyway, that is a project, and they're going to be the first to get that done. Maybe the other people that will do it. I don't know. It's safe.
Guys, thanks for joining us today. We
Hold on.
appreciate you. Okay. We'll close out in a minute.
Okay. I am not happy. Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Panther selection next week. Maybe we get Coach Wilkes on the show. You know how I feel. I told Coach Wilkes he had the job. He was in here, great guy. I said, hey, Coach, great job. I think you coached your way into a job. But there we go. Guys, have a great day. Great to see you. Cheers. Thanks for joining us.